Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptan sanjeevayata kila shakti dhara swadhamna anyam shahasta charana shavana tvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam katanchana smrute yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrute viparitam syat Shri Chaitanya namamitam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the most holy place of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, Shri Vraja Bihari Mandir, ISKCON, Juhu. Very grateful to you for coming here, despite unseasonal rain and surprising thunderstorm. So I will tell you one story today, in the next 1 hour, which is the story of how this temple was built. And I'll repeat this story again after 2 months, because the story is so exciting that I have spoken this and heard it so many times over the last 25 years, and I never got bored, because it is such an amazing story. So when it was raining now, some time ago, right? It was raining as we were coming here. I was remembering one rain that happened here on June 1st, 1973. It was Friday night. Whole Friday night it was raining cats and dogs, and devotees were building the temple. They were on a deadline, because if they don't build the temple by Monday morning, they would not have a temple here. So the whole Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, it was raining heavily, and the devotees were building a temple before the court opened for its session on Monday morning. That was the challenge they had. June 1st, 1973. You want to know why? What is the context? What is the story about? What was the rain? Oh, they missed the starting, main point of the story. So you want to know what happened? Why they had a deadline? So for that you have to go back to 1970. Srila Prabhupada was here. He had started ISKCON in America. ISKCON had now started in London also. But he wanted to start ISKCON in India. And he was staying in South Bombay area, at near Malabar Hill, comfortable. But he wanted to build a beautiful temple for Krishna. And then he heard this 5-acre land here, one Mr. N, he is willing to sell it. So Srila Prabhupada immediately said, yes, we should take this land. Because this land, Srila Prabhupada had seen many years ago, in 1966, when he used to walk from Andheri station to Scindia steamship colony, where he was staying, 1965. Because he was planning to go to America, he would walk from Andheri station here, and he would look at this land and he would think, how nice it would be if we have a temple here. And now he felt after 5 years, Krishna was fulfilling this desire by giving him land here. So he thought this is Krishna sending a message, loud message, that take this land. So devotees said, don't buy this land, Prabhupada. We are so comfortable at Malabar Hill in South Bombay, staying in rich life members' houses. Because here this land was completely barren. There are all drainage, stinking liquor bottles, rats, mosquitoes, cockroaches, scorpions, snakes. Horrible place. The devotees were sad. They didn't want to come here. Nobody was living here except some Christians, fishermen. Srila Prabhupada said, no, 50 years from now, this would be a thriving place. Srila Prabhupada knew आगे जाके क्या होगा इधर. So he knew that the future was here. But devotees could not see that future. They didn't want to come here. This is the context. And Mr. N seemed to be a very friendly man, a short, 5 foot 3-4 inches, dark complexion, little pockmarked, and quite strong. And he was the editor of one of the most popular English newspapers in India, Mumbai. He was the sheriff, former sheriff of Mumbai. He was a very big real estate dealer. He owned a lot of properties in Mumbai. So Prabhupada was dealing with a very big man. And he seemed very friendly. And he was staying close by. And he said, Swamiji, I'll give you this land. This is for you and your devotees. And Srila Prabhupada and Mr. N agreed that they will take this land for 14 lakh rupees. 5 acres of land for how much? 14 lakhs. You can easily make it 14 crores now. I think more than that. But that is how much it was at that time. So then Srila Prabhupada and they made an agreement. Srila Prabhupada said, we'll make down payment of 2 lakhs and the remaining amount we'll pay in installments. And within that down payment, Srila Prabhupada made further agreement with him that he would pay 50,000 right now, and after they make another payment of 50,000 rupees, that is total 1 lakh, the devotees would move into the land. Then they would pay 1 more lakh, that would make the down payment complete. Then once the down payment is complete, they would get the deed, which says the land belongs to ISKCON. And then the devotees would subsequently pay the installments. That was the agreement. Everybody will remember this? Simple agreement. So Srila Prabhupada and the devotees, Srila Prabhupada was very happy. Now we'll have a temple here for Krishna. But now the story starts taking dramatic turn. Because Mr. N was the former sheriff of Mumbai, but he was not a sheriff person. He was a very big gunda. He was a real estate dealer. And he had a lot of bad contacts. But nobody knew this at this point of time. He was very friendly. And just 14 lakhs, he's selling 5 acres of land for devotees. Hari Bol, everybody was not so happy because they were all Americans. They were not used to staying in such an austere place. This is all drainage, dirty sewage, liquor bottles lying everywhere. Horrible, stinking place. But Srila Prabhupada said, no, we'll make this a beautiful place. Srila Prabhupada said, okay, move in here, all of you devotees. They said, Prabhupada, but we are Americans. We're not used to staying in such place. We need running water, tap, shower. And they have to come here, stay, make small tents, make the facilities and then build a temple. It's not going to be possible. Then Srila Prabhupada said, don't you want to get purified? Those words left a deep impression in the heart of these American young boys and girls. See, many Indians wouldn't have done this, but Srila Prabhupada, we say Americans, foreigners, but they did so much for Prabhupada. What many Indians did not help him at that time. So these young, well-to-do families, boys and girls from America, they stayed in this land to make a temple here. So they paid 50,000 rupees and Srila Prabhupada also paid the next 50,000. So what they're supposed to do after paying total 1 lakh rupees? They move in. So Srila Prabhupada went to Jaipur for a preaching program and he told the devotees to move in. When he came back from the Jaipur program, he saw nobody had moved in. They were still comfortable in South Bombay, Malabar Hill. Srila Prabhupada understood that devotees are reluctant because austere, na? It's not easy to come and stay here. So Srila Prabhupada understood that they are very reluctant. So he realized that they need a good manager who can inspire them, motivate them. There was Brahmananda Das, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, who was in Kenya at that time. So Srila Prabhupada went to Kenya personally to get him. And when he went to Kenya, he was surprised. He said, Prabhupada, you came here. Why? You could have called me, telephoned me, I would have come to Mumbai. Prabhupada said, no, in Bengal, we have a saying that if you want something very, very important to be done, then you should do it personally by going there. So I want Bombay. So Prabhupada asked him, which is the most important city in India? So he said, he thought Prabhupada would be happy. He's from Bengal, Kolkata. He said, Kolkata, Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, don't you know? Bombay is number 1. Delhi is 2 and Kolkata is 3. So come to Bombay, I want you to as a manager there. So Brahmanand Swami came here. And then he inspired all the devotees. They moved in, they started cleaning the place, and they started building the place. So 1 lakh was paid. The devotees moved in, and meanwhile they also paid the another 1 lakh. So 2 lakh is paid. Now what is the next part of the agreement? The deed. Who has to give? Mr. N has to give the deed which says the land belongs to ISKCON. Right? So far the story is going smooth. But something interesting happened now. Brahmanand Swami also couldn't continue managing because it was very austere. He said, I am a sannyasi, Prabhupada, I have to preach in Kenya. So he went back to Kenya. Tamal Krishna Maharaj also, Prabhupada tried to get him, but he took sannyas. So he also was traveling. So then Srila Prabhupada called Giriraj Swami. Giriraj Swami, we'll call him in this pastime as Giriraj Das. Very sweet young boy, brahmachari. Today is one of the ISKCON's senior most sannyasis. And Giriraj Maharaj was son of one of the biggest lawyers in America who was very, very close to the federal government. In fact, when his father died, there was a 21-gun salute. His father was awarded the highest American government ka jo award, a civilian award, that was given to his father. Very big man. In fact, when Giriraj Maharaj as a young boy joined Prabhupada, his father came and gave a blank check to Srila Prabhupada, saying that you write your amount, but give my son back. Srila Prabhupada said, take your son, I don't need him. We're not keeping anybody by force here. So Giriraj Maharaj told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, keep that check and keep me also. So like that. So Giriraj Maharaj was a very sweet young boy, always wanting to do anything Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada said, Giriraj, you'll be the manager here. You can manage this whole project. He said, yes, Prabhupada. Whatever you say, I will do. So Srila Prabhupada said, okay. So I'm going now on a world tour, preaching. So before I come back in the next 6 months, you should have the deed in your hand and you should start making the installments. Very clear, right? So far the story is very, very no problem. But now when Prabhupada is gone, Srila Prabhupada gets one letter from Giriraj saying that I just paid 7,500 rupees to Mr. N. Srila Prabhupada is like, what? So Srila Prabhupada thinks that is, see, when I say 7,500, you should immediately put 2 more zeros into that. Okay? कितना हो गया? 7 lakh ऐसे डाल देने का. क्योंकि we have to adjust it to the inflation now, right? 14 lakhs में land खरीदा, अभी कितना होगा 5-6 एकड़ land इधर? 140 crores. So sorry, I was thinking 14 lakhs का भी 14 crores होगा 5 acre land. I'm so cut off from reality. तो ठीक है 100 crore, 140 crores पकड़ो. तो इतना महंगा प्लॉट था उस समय का, वो लैंड प्रभुपाद ने लिया उस समय. Anyway, so he is now, so Giriraj Maharaj says, I have given him 7,500 rupees. So Prabhupada writes back saying, oh, was that part of your that installment that you have to pay? Because Srila Prabhupada says all that is later, but as he given you the deed saying that the land belongs to ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada said he will give it later. Giriraj Maharaj said. Giriraj Maharaj wrote to him saying, he said he will give it later, but first he asked for 7,500 rupees. So Srila Prabhupada says, is it part of the installment? He says, no, he just asked and I gave him. So Srila Prabhupada starts smelling something fishy here. Because Giriraj was very innocent and he trusted. Because Mr. N and Srila Prabhupada had good dealings. And Mr. N was also a very respectable man in the society. Editor of the biggest newspaper, Sheriff of Mumbai, big real estate dealer. So he thought he's a respectable man, he's asking means I should give and he will adjust it. Srila Prabhupada was very smart. Srila Prabhupada was almost 80 years old, but he was not one to be fooled easily. He wrote back saying, all this is later, first you take the deed, because he has promised. So Giriraj Maharaj went to him, and what did Mr. N say? Giriraj Maharaj wrote to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he said, we will not give the deed till we pay 2 lakh rupees as corporate tax. Prabhupada said, अरे कहाँ लिखा है agreement में? Agreement में नहीं है ये. So he had invented some new clause. So he wants 2 lakh rupees. Again, that is not part of the installment. That is part of, I say, extra. So Prabhupada said, no, but that's not part of the agreement. We'll not pay that money. First get the deed. So he again goes. He says, no, 2 lakh rupees de do. 2 lakh rupees aapko hi dena hai. So Giriraj Maharaj is like, you cannot argue with him. Giriraj Maharaj is very gentleman. And Mr. N is saying, no, you have to pay, you have to pay. See, you're all Americans. You can get from America. Go to the bank, take loan, you'll get. So Giriraj Maharaj innocently went to the bank also. They said, we can't give you. So basically, he was not able to arrange. But finally, Prabhupada is repeatedly asking, first get the deed. And there is no clause here for corporate tax. We are not supposed to pay that. But finally, back and forth, Prabhupada said, ठीक है अभी deed तो लेना है, तो ठीक है दे दो 2 लाख. 2 लाख भी दे दिया, कैसे तो करके arrange कर. Now at least give the deed. Mr. N said, no, I cannot give you. You have to get permission from Charity Commissioner office. अरे ये क्या नया clause? So Mr. N was repeatedly giving all jumla. He was just giving all this false. He was misleading the devotees. So Giriraj Maharaj went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is asking for Charity Commissioner. So Prabhupada said, okay, go to Charity Commissioner's office. Charity Commissioner's office said, we can't give you permission. Because you should have applied 1 year ago. It's a Gordian knot. He went back to N and says, no, then I cannot give you the deed. Already he has taken so much money. 2 lakhs plus 2 lakhs plus 7,500. And now he's not giving the deed also. So then Prabhupada is in America that time and he's writing letters to the lawyer. Lawyer is not responding only. Prabhupada का जो lawyer था जो ये land के लिए. Finally, Srila Prabhupada gets this disturbing news that his lawyer has resigned from serving Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada comes to know through Giriraj Maharaj that lawyer is a friend of Mr. N. And Charity Commissioner's permission was not granted because there also Mr. N had given, he had his contacts there. So then Srila Prabhupada understands that Mr. N is not sheriff, he is a gunda. So what Mr. N thought, ये लोग सब जो है, a bunch of American boys and girls, they are very naive, foolish people. उनको easily उल्लू बना के पैसा ले लेंगे. He thought like that. But he had not reckoned with Srila Prabhupada. He did not know that Srila Prabhupada was a fighter. ऐसे साधु नहीं है जो ऐसा चुपचाप he will allow anybody to abuse him. You know what Srila Prabhupada did? Master stroke. Before going on his world tour, he brought Vraja Bihari DT and installed them. Small cornerstone laying ceremony. And in front of everyone, he told Vraja Bihari, oh Vraja Bihari ji, please stay here. I promise you, I will build you a nice temple. So that was the personal promise he has made to Krishna. And now Srila Prabhupada's promise is getting disturbed because Mr. N is cheating them. And Giriraj Maharaj is not able to negotiate with Mr. N. And he thought, hey, American log hai, ullu bana denge, inko paisa le lenge. And then Prabhupada comes to know one more disturbing news. That Mr. N has already sold this land to another company. And they have gone to court also. So if the court rules in favor of that company, then Prabhupada has to fight with Mr. N also and with that company also. ऐसा सब setting कर दिया था Mr. N. So the devotees were very sad. They said, already we are suffering here. Because when the devotees would manage this place, it would be stinking of sewage. In fact, Giriraj Maharaj says sometimes he would come back after evening program of life members, after fundraising, he would come back in the night, evening at 8 o'clock in this area and he would open the khichdi dabba to take some khichdi prasad and you would see there is rat inside. Tani had to sleep without prasad. A lot of austerities they had to do. A lot of difficulties they faced here. So they thought, Prabhupada, ये सब क्या इतना झमेला छोड़ देते हैं land. Prabhupada said, no, we have promised Krishna and this man, we have paid him the money, we have honored our part of the agreement. He has to now honor his part of the agreement. So the lawyer has resigned, lawyer is his man, Charity Commissioner mein uska contact hai, all this gadbad is doing. So then Mr. N did not expect this. What Prabhupada did was amazing genius. He told his disciples from America, okay, put an advertisement in the newspaper saying that ISKCON has entered into a land agreement with Mr. N at Juhu area, this 5-acre land. we have purchased from Mr. N. Put the advertisement in the newspaper so that the public will come to know. What a stroke of genius. That time, like now we have social media. That time we didn't have social media. That time newspaper was very, very prominent source of spreading news. And Mr. N was shocked. He did not imagine that this elderly sannyasi and his bunch of American disciples would be so smart. He got wild. Till now he was talking diplomatically. He was dealing in a very diplomatic way. But when he got this news, he started shouting at the devotees. And bad gali started giving, and devotees were trembling in front of him. And you know what he did? He had a friend called Mr. Matre and one more friend, Mr. Tambe, who was a MLA, and Mr. Rane was a black magician, tantric. So Mr. Matre was a chairman of the board of schools here. Many schools were under him. He was chairman of the board of trust for that. Very, very big man. So he and his friends started distributing pamphlets at Vile Parle railway station, saying that ISKCON is a very scandalous organization. ISKCON, they take drugs. ISKCON has all illicit prostitution, all that ganda he started giving. So that people get, because now people will read the newspapers, they will know that they have got the land, ISKCON has got the land. So he has to now negate it, no? Mr. N has started distributing pamphlets in Vile Parle and Andheri station. And Mr. Matre started spreading all these lies. And then Mr. N he cut off the electricity and all the water supply to this area. And then gundas would roam with dandas and machetes outside this area, and the women who are serving here were very scared to go out after sunset. It became very scary and risky for the devotees serving here. Mr. N was threatening them openly. Now this is the situation. This I am talking about 1972, June, July का ये time पे ये सब हो गया drama. Intense, no? And Srila Prabhupada, another stroke of genius, when he realizes that this is what Mr. N is doing, you know what Srila Prabhupada did? He told devotees, you are getting scared by that gunda. He is intimidating you and you are just getting scared. Just because you put the advertisement in the newspaper and he got angry and you are getting more scared. Now do what I tell you. File a criminal case against him. So and Mr. N was shocked. पूरा criminal case डाल दिया उसके against. He didn't expect this. Then the situation had become worse. And he has still not given the deed. He already has so much money. And he's threatening devotees that all the money you have given so far is mine. Now you have to get out of the land. So Srila Prabhupada right now is in America. He comes back to India, but he's in Hyderabad. And that time, coincidentally, Mr. N is also in Hyderabad. This is 1972, October के time पे. एक साल almost हो गया. Drama हो रहा है. So there, Mr. N had now started shouting at the devotees and very bad relationship. But Prabhupada के साथ अभी तक अच्छा relationship था, remember, because they had met 7 months before and Prabhupada had left. It's a correspondence में हो रहा है. Legal case, criminal case. So Prabhupada and he are having externally good relationship only so far. And amongst all devotees, Prabhupada, Mr. N has scolded them. But there was one person with Mr. N had good relationship. That was Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who had a very beautiful, sweet, cute daughter, 3-year-old daughter called Saraswati, who was very attractive. So Mr. N was fond of her. So because of that girl, he was also friendly with the father. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu met Mr. N. He said, see, please, there is so much of confusion and misunderstanding. Prabhupada is in Hyderabad. You are also in Hyderabad. Let us arrange a meeting. Let us have a proper contract. Let us remove all the misconception and confusion. So then he agreed. So now Prabhupada and Mr. N met. And they were very friendly. Because so far it was good only between them. But Mr. N, he brought one very mystical guru. Asa daadi wala, asa pagdi vagdi. Asa, because he thought Prabhupada kuch karenge jadoo tona. Usko offset करने के लिए he brought his own guru. So Prabhupada saw ये कौन है guru और बड़ा सा लंबा सा guru बैठा है उसके बगल में. So then Mr. N and Prabhupada started negotiated. Prabhupada said, okay, whatever money you have taken so far is okay, but please no, we want the land. Please give us the deed. So then Mr. N said, okay, but I cannot give, I need this, So he started demanding something. But Prabhupada got a strong desire that this land should be taken. So he agreed for all the concessions, all the extra thing that he was asking. And then they agreed that he will give the deed. So Srila Prabhupada told his disciples, ठीक है, सब agreement उधर बनाया, सब sign वाइन हो गया, everything was done, and then there was a big lunch feast arranged. And after taking lunch, that Guru of Mr. N, he said, Swamiji, you must be very tired now. Let us take some rest. Why don't you take some rest? Prabhupada said, yes, I'm very tired. We should all take rest. So उनको room दिखाया rest करने के लिए. And so they all went to their respective rooms, and Prabhupada went and told his disciples, see, when a person tells you that you are tired and you should take rest, that means he is tired and he wants to take rest. So that Guru must be very tired and he must be snoring and taking rest. So quietly go and wake up Mr. N and call him here. So then they woke him up, Mr. N came, and then Prabhupada spoke to him. They again renegotiated, explained to him his challenges. They made a proper agreement. It was all done, and meanwhile the Guru was sleeping. And then the agreement was signed. They left, and then Prabhupada went for his preaching again to Jaipur. So devotees had to pay some extra money. They paid that money, and they went to Mr. N for the deed, and Mr. N said, oh, you have to get this permission, you have to get that, you have to, all that again he started doing. And devotees are convinced that this is a mess. We cannot stay here, we should cancel the deed. And meanwhile, Prabhupada was in Jaipur. He realized that intuition that something gadabad devotees may do. And just as he was thinking, he called Vishaka, was a young disciple. You can see her photograph. She's starting my photograph. Right now, that time she was a young 21-year-old girl who came from America with her boyfriend. You should imagine 1971, two American couple are here, young, unmarried. They're roaming around in India. They're photographers, professional photographers and movie makers. They get fascinated by Prabhupada. They join Prabhupada's movement. And then Srila Prabhupada says, you should get married. That's a good idea. Yes, we should get married. So Vishaka Mataji and Yedubar Prabhu, they are wonderful couple. Their children are also Pakka devotees today. They are grandparents today. Yedubar Prabhu and Vishaka Mataji. Their grandchildren are also beautiful devotees. In fact, Yedubar Prabhu and Vishaka Mataji's two daughters who are married and they are mothers now. They are such amazing devotees. पूरा आप देखेंगे कुछ लगेगा नहीं कि ऐसा भी background रहा होगा. Beautiful family, Krishna conscious. So Vishaka Mataji at that time was a young girl. Was all the photographs you see, Prabhupada का इधर सब उसमें उन्होंने निकाला है. She was amazing, very award-winning photographer and very talented. She writes articles for Back to Godhead. She is the temple president of ISKCON, Bhaktivedanta Manor, London. So when I go there, she is the one who hosts me. She is the one, I take sometimes lunch with her. I get opportunity to speak, spend time with her. She's very kind. And she's an amazing lady. So she was there. She's there. She must be now, 75 or something like that. So she's been a very, one of the biggest leaders in ISKCON. And Bhaktivedanta Manor, London they have 5 times more people coming for Janmashtami there than here. It's a very big community. So she's a temple president there. So that time she was a young girl. Srila Prabhupada called, this is night time in Ahmedabad. Sorry, this is Ahmedabad, not Jaipur. So Srila Prabhupada calls her. This is night time, 10 o'clock. He tells Vishaka, you're a young girl. This is not your job, but I can trust you the most right now. Rush back to Bombay immediately, because I'm suspecting something wrong may happen. Go and stop them from cancelling the deed. So she takes a train at night and she rushes to Bombay. Meanwhile, Giriraj, I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he calls Prabhupada in Ahmedabad. Prabhupada picks up the phone and he says, Prabhupada, we cancel the deed. He gets this and Prabhupada says, then everything is finished. Then he keeps the phone. And then he says to his disciples, you will not vacate the land. You have cancelled the deed, but don't vacate the land now. Because he has cheated us, he has to give us the money first. So far he has taken a lot of money. He says, you are all useless vagabonds, illegally occupying my property. Get out of my place. He starts shouting at Srila Prabhupada, who is a world Acharya, who has thousands of disciples. Srila Prabhupada says, this is not my land. I never claimed this is our land. This land belongs to Krishna and we have honored the agreement. Please give us the deed. And if you think we have cancelled, then give us the money. He says, first you vacate the land. He said, no, you have cheated us already of so much money. So you need to give us the money first, back. Then we will leave the land. So then he said, I will come and break your deities and temple. He starts abusing. And he gives very bad galis to Srila Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada shouts at him. He says, you are a cheater. You don't want to pay the money. Do you have the money? We will leave right now. But I know you will not pay the money. You are a cheater. So when Prabhupada says that, he starts hurling very bad abuses at Srila Prabhupada and he walks out of the room. And Srila Prabhupada just stands there because it's very insulting words he speaks. And he walks out. And Prabhupada just stands there, remembers Krishna, and next morning Mr. N gets a massive heart attack, is admitted in the hospital and he dies. Meanwhile, Mr. Rane, remember I spoke about Mr. Matre. What was Mr. Matre doing? Distributing pamphlets, trying to defame Prabhupada and ISKCON. Mr. Tambe, what he did? He was MLA, he started collecting all the life members and telling them how ISKCON, we should stop them from occupying this land. And Mr. Rane was a black magician, tantric. He had kept a doll of Srila Prabhupada and he started doing all those, what is that called? Witchcraft and voodoo magic types. He was staying close by to this land. But when you do that with a pure devotee, it backfires. You can't do that with a pure devotee. Meanwhile, Mr. NS got a heart attack and he died. Land is still, he has the deed, but devotees are staying here. Now, Mrs. N joins the fight. She's not legally as astute as her husband, but she's determined to drive out the devotees. So things are going on quietly for some time. And then 1973 ka June ka day aata hai. Remember, we began this story with that. We began today's class with one story. Because it was raining when we came here, so I began with the rain story. June 1st, Friday, 1973. It was raining heavily, whole night. I'm going back to the starting part of today's class. What was happening? What happened on those 3 days? Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning and Sunday night. How many hours it is? 72 hours almost. It's more than 65 hours. Non-stop devotees in the non-stop rain, they are building a temple because this is what had happened. On the afternoon of this day, late morning, Mrs. N had arranged the municipality to come here with the police force. They came with hammers, big instruments. And they barged into the complex and started breaking the makeshift temple that devotees had made. And the deities were there. They started breaking the temple and the devotees were trying to stop. They showed some papers. The police just threw it away because she had influenced the municipal commissioner, telling them that there's an illegally occupied land here. And municipal commissioner called his ward office and they arranged police to come and drive out the devotees and break the temple. And they went and the devotees were frantically trying. And they almost broke the deities ke uppar ka jo rehta hai na, dome. They are about, and if that they had entered, the deities would have been harmed. They had reached almost that place. And the women who were serving, they were trying to protect the deities. But the police very mercilessly grabbed the hair of the Matajis also and drew them out of the complex. There was Maithili Mataji who was dragged and she was trying to protect the deities. Her hair was ऐसा पकड़ के उसको बाहर ऐसा खींचा फेंका. So our daughter Gandiva Dasi, she saw, and it's very painful for devotees. They were crying and they were screaming. They were begging for help. So then Mr. Rane was there and he was laughing at the devotees' plight. So Gandiva Dasi looked at him and said, the devotees are being offended they are being treated so badly and you are laughing. The fire of your Vaishnava aparad, it's an aparad, it's an offense to the devotees. The fire of your offense will burn you. She cursed him like that. Meanwhile, he was laughing and devotees are being dragged and they are about to break the temple. Meanwhile, Mr. P.L. Sethi, Prabhupada was staying in his house. Mr. P.L. Sethi's house. Very friendly with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was very firebrand. He helped Srila Prabhupada so much. He came with a gun. He had a gun to fight with the gundas. ये लोगों के साथ लड़ने के लिए बंदूक ही लेके आ गए वो. And he was very, very protective of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was not in Bombay that time. He was traveling. And he called up Bal Thackeray. That time Bala Sahib Thackeray had started Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena was a new political party that time. And Bal Thackeray को बोला कि हमारा हिंदू मंदिर तोड़ रहा है. तो Bal Thackeray called the municipal commissioner directly. Municipal commissioner अच्छा ऐसा है. Municipal commissioner called the ward office. वो फिर भाग के letter लेके. And just when the dome was about to be broken, that moment the letter came to stop the breaking. Just. So Mr. P.L. Sethi ने कितना बड़ा help किया सोचो. And Mr. P.L. Sethi के grandson Sandeep Sethi, he comes for my class in Worli, and his son is here. Anadya. He plays very good mridanga. He's 15 years old. So when I see him, I get emotional. So Srila Prabhupada stayed in their house, and a lot of stories. Srila Prabhupada told Mr. P.L. Sethi, you fought so hard to protect Krishna's house, Krishna's temple. Krishna is making a beautiful house for you in the spiritual world. That's what he told, na? So Mr. P.L. Sethi's great grandson, Anadya. Thank you for coming. We feel Prabhupada blessed us today. Nahin? Mr. P.L. Sethi has blessed us today. You should also pray for him. Alright? Because he is blessed. He is born in this family. So where were we? So rok diya last minute mein. And devotees were crying, the whole temple. And then what Mrs. N did immediately, she realized कि रोक दिया. So she is also great strategist. Game खेलना है. उसके भी friends हैं, lawyers हैं. She put a thing in the court saying that they should not rebuild the temple here. And she wanted an injunction from the court that there should be no building of temple in this area. Right? Because the temple is already broken now. And devotees went to the court saying that हमारे साथ ऐसा अन्याय हुआ, and they came to know that Mrs. N has filed this. And the court said this is Friday afternoon, late afternoon, I cannot take the case now, we'll take it on Monday morning. So devotees called Prabhupada saying that इतना बड़ा disaster हो गया इधर. You know what Srila Prabhupada said? Don't worry, this will work in our favor. Srila Prabhupada had amazing positive attitude. Positive attitude किसी से सीखना है ना? Srila Prabhupada. He said, don't worry, this will be a news that will be in our favor. This news will help us. Can you imagine? अलग ही purport दिया Prabhupada. And that's what happened. Because many people did not know that there was a Hindu temple here. Because the next day headlines was Hindu temple broken. So they thought, अच्छा इधर मंदिर है. Because I told you, Mrs. N had his own newspaper. So उनकी newspaper ने डाला illegal temple demolished. So they thought, अच्छा temple था इधर. They did not say illegal temple. So they all came to the temple. So publicity मंदिर का जो है 10 गुना बढ़ गया. So Prabhupada ने prediction जो किया था वो सही निकला. Meanwhile, devotees Prabhupada said, देखो अभी we can't rebuild the temple and the case will open on Monday morning. But what if the court is told that the temple is already there? Then can they give the injunction? You got the point? So क्या करना होगा? Make the temple. So they made a makeshift temple. बना देते हैं कुछ तो करके. So they had a marathon temple construction and the rains had started. Heavy rains. So the next 2 days and 2 nights, actually 3 nights, 2 days and 3 nights, they started intense construction, and Monday morning everything was ready. So the case opens. Mrs. N's lawyer says, they cannot build a temple here. And Prabhupada's lawyer says, already temple hai. So the judge says, what is built, temple will remain. Case dismissed. And this is big victory for Srila Prabhupada said, this is a victory. And Mrs. N is trapped. Meanwhile, the publicity of this event became so big that all media and public support went in favor of ISKCON. And suddenly in the newspaper, there was a headlines of Mr. Mahatre being photographed, garlanded with chappals, and everybody is booing him because he was caught in an illicit scandal with one of his teachers in his schools. And it became big news. What was Mr. Mahatre doing with ISKCON? Spreading rumors of scandals of ISKCON devotees' behavior. How Krishna rewarded him? ऐसा गंदा स्कैंडल बाहर आ गया कि उसका मोर्चा चप्पल का हार पहना के he could not come out of his house for the rest of his life. And Mr. Tambe, he had called all the life members for a meeting. The meeting was about to start. Morning, he got up from his bed and suddenly realized he's not able to get up. Kya ho raha hai? He's lying on the bed and he realized he's paralyzed waist down. Mystery. And for the rest of his life, he couldn't get up from his bed. And the devotees are doing Mangalarti every day morning, 4:30 here in this makeshift temple, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And suddenly, it's quiet. Morning Mangalarti ke baad, shant rehta hai, around 5 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, suddenly they hear screaming sound. Ah, ah. And they all come running outside to see. And they are shocked. They see somebody is burning in flames. Pura aag laga hua hai. And that they come close and they say, Mr. Rane, pura aag laga hua uske body mein, just outside the temple. What happened? You know what had happened? Mr. Rane was staying just in front of the temple in his kitchen. He had kept that doll of Prabhupada and he was doing those, putting those pins and trying to destroy Prabhupada. But you know, it boomerangs. When you try to attack a pure devotee, it comes back on you. So when he was doing that with Prabhupada, suddenly his mind went crazy. He went to the kitchen, took kerosene, put it on his own body. He didn't know what he was doing. He put it on his own body, light a fire, and then he realized what he had done. तो आग लग गया. Then he came running outside. By the time he was full in flames. And as he was burning, devotees looked at Gandiva Mataji. You know what she had said? Remember, she had said something when the temple was being broken? The fire of your offenses to the devotee will burn you. So he had offended the devotees. He had laughed at their misery. So he was now being burned by Krishna. So not only Mr. N, the demon, was killed, but his 3 associates, these were demons, were also killed by Krishna. See, you may be thinking, Srila Prabhupada, why is he so desperate for this temple? Why is he fighting? Sadhu is not supposed to fight. See, this is not like that. You have to understand this different psychology happening here. When Krishna was caught in the coils of Kaliya in Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, everyone was desperate to protect Krishna. Srila Prabhupada wanted to protect Vraja Bihari. He had a personal relationship with the Lord. He had made a commitment and promise to the Lord. So that was a personal relationship with Krishna. He was feeling hurt that somebody is attacking Krishna, my Krishna. In that mood, he was protecting. This is actually compassion. Srila Prabhupada could have made temple anywhere in the world. He made this here so that we all can become devotees. I would have not become a devotee if there was no ISKCON in Mumbai. I am saved because of this. This is compassion. This is not obsession with material obsession. This is not material thing. This is pure spiritual thing. हमारे लिए कर रहे हैं Prabhupada. All the demons one by one are getting destroyed and popularity ISKCON is getting more. Mrs. N is losing the whole thing. Finally, Mrs. N agrees to meet Prabhupada and she agrees to give the deed. and they have a meeting. And in that meeting, she starts थोड़ा emotional हो जाती है वो. Her eyes become moist. She's about to cry. Prabhupada puts his hand on her head and says, "You are like my daughter. Don't worry. I will take care of you for the rest of your life. This land belongs to Krishna. Give this land to the devotees." She says, "Yes, Prabhupada." And then there is a proper agreement. The municipal office से पूरा team आ जाता है. And here in the same area, they have Prabhupada sitting on this side, Mrs. N is sitting here, and the deed papers are going to be signed. All these papers are there. So Giriraj Maharaj writes in his book that this complete silence is evening time. The municipal authorities are sitting in the center. Srila Prabhupada is sitting on the left and she is sitting on the right, and they are signing. The only sound that could be heard was the turning of the pages. And quietly they are reading, they are signing one by one. And Giriraj Maharaj says, it was appearing as if two superpowers are signing a treaty. Because so much of fighting had happened. So then after they signed, the whole thing cost, like Srila Prabhupada had to spend, overall, the total, this thing, they had to spend to the tune of 18 lakh rupees, 18 to 19 lakh rupees for this land. Jab signing ho gaya, they sat, Mrs. N started, she broke down and started crying loudly. Everybody was like, "Isu kya ho gaya aisa?" So they thought she's crying because she's feeling guilty for what she had done for so long. So when Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to her, he realized that she was crying for a different reason. Because the previous day only she had got an offer for this land. Somebody was willing to pay 75 lakh rupees. And how much did Prabhupada and his devotees get this for? 19 to 20 lakhs mein mil gaya tha. And she just couldn't say yes to that person because itna sab ho gaya tha na, overwhelming. So after signing, she realized that maine kya kar diya. So after that signing was over, already Prabhupada had arranged a big feast. For all the details is given in Lilamrit. वो cauliflower pakoda था, batata vada था, rice था, कड़ी था, सब्जी क्या था, sweet में क्या था, चमचम था, रसमलाई था, pineapple butter halwa था, वो सब पूरा menu भी दिया है. So there's a big feast prepared and all devotees are having feast, and then Prabhupada gave a class. And how he begins the class? He says like this: "So in Krishna consciousness there are no problems." That's how he began. Because is positivity personified. हमारा life का problems कुछ भी नहीं है compared to what, I was telling Abhishek, we should come here once in 3 months at least. And I want to tell you all the stories of Prabhupada from childhood, how he was born. He was born actually after Janmashtami. He was actually born on the Janmashtami ka the day. मतलब उसके बाद, and then this entire life story, how from childhood he was attached to Krishna. If you hear his life story, you will be amazed how he is special. And then you will see how much challenges he faced, how many losses he faced in business, and how much failures he went through. And he was all the time positive. I mean, the kind of business losses he went through, when I share with you, you will be like shocked. मतलब बहुत लाखों रुपए का losses, and how he was cheated by different people. All the details are there in Lilamrit, and I want to share that with you one day. So, we'll come here once in 3 months. Will you come? Manav? You'll come? Krishna? You'll come? Sai? You'll come from Solapur? He's come from Solapur for today's class. Purva, you missed the main part of the class. You were hearing it online? I was remembering you. I was wishing you were there, but you came. You heard some part of it, starting part? Yeah. So very, very beautiful pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. So what did Prabhupada say? No problems in Krishna consciousness. Amazing, no? And then they started the temple construction, and then a lot of other stories are there. But I just want to pause here and tell you how much struggle Prabhupada had to go through to get this land. And one amazing lesson I have learned from this is, don't take pangas with pure devotees of Krishna. मतलब pure devotees जो है भगवान के, उनके पास cheating करेंगे ना, बहुत महंगा पड़ेगा. But Srila Prabhupada did not want the devotees to be cheated. See, he said devotees should be simple but not bondu, not naive. The initial days when there was nothing here, Srila Prabhupada said, we'll have a pandal program. So Brahmanand Swami was remember initial days Brahmanand Swami was the in charge? I told you. So he arranged a pandal, and then after this 8 days of katha, वो contractor जिसने पंडाल वंडल बनाया पैसा देना है ना उसको, he came and Prabhupada, Brahmanand said, Prabhupada, I'm giving him the money now, he's come. Prabhupada, how much are you giving him? He said, no, we had agreed that I should pay 4,000 rupees for the whole pandal ka con. 4,000 rupees? Prabhupada said, he's cheating you. Call him, I will pay him. So now this is recorded history. So that fellow comes, Prabhupada pays him 500 rupees and sends him. कितना बोला था? कितना दिया? And he went. Prabhupada said, you are making, Prabhupada said, you are already making some 500% profit, you are cheating our devotees. He chastised him left, right, center, and he drove him away. And then he looked at the devotees and said, you are fools. Just because you are Americans, these people think they can take money out of you. The worldly, Srila Prabhupada wanted us to be worldly wise, Smart. Like many times, parents come or even girls come and they tell us, Prabhuji, now, we are 21st century girls. What should be the etiquette in Krishna consciousness? So I say, girls should know few things. You should know cooking so that you can survive. You should know driving. You should know financial planning. Because most of the women I know, they don't do financial planning at home. But financial planning आना चाहिए, cooking आना चाहिए, driving आना चाहिए, martial arts आना चाहिए, karate, negotiation skills आना चाहिए. ये 5 चीज आना चाहिए. And then I say, and don't be a good girl, be a smart girl. You are trained to be a good boy, good girl. थोड़ा घर पे good रहो, घर के बाहर smart रहो. घर के अंदर good रहो, घर के बाहर smart रहो. So Srila Prabhupada wanted us to be smart girls and smart boys for Krishna's service. Don't let anybody cheat you. Because they're not cheating you, they're cheating Krishna's money, Krishna's resources. You belong to Krishna, your life is for Krishna. How can you allow anyone to cheat you? Right? So Srila Prabhupada would be very angry when devotees would be naive. So anyway, one important lesson I learned was Srila Prabhupada was a pure devotee of Krishna and he wanted us to get Krishna, and I have very beautiful memories here, and I feel extremely grateful. If Prabhupada had not started Krishna consciousness in Mumbai, I don't know if I would have never become a Hare Krishna devotee. And so you should also be grateful, and I feel we should make a commitment or a promise that we'll come here once in 3 months and have Prabhupada Katha and discuss all his pastimes, how he started ISKCON, how he tried to start Krishna consciousness in India, then in America what happened, what kind of people would come to his. I'll give you one sample of the kind of people who are coming. What is there to hear about Srila Prabhupada? एक sample बताता हूँ. The kind of stories that Srila Prabhupada, or the incident that Srila Prabhupada had to handle. When Srila Prabhupada was preaching in San Francisco, a place called Haight-Ashbury district, which was a district filled with hippies. You know hippies? सब चर्सी ड्रग्स लेते थे. वो देवानंद का मूवी देखा है ना, दम मारो दम. Those were hippies. So they were coming to ISKCON, and then one day when Srila Prabhupada would sleep at what time in the night, 10 o'clock. And get up at what time? 12:30 in the night. So how many hours he would sleep? And then what he would do from 12:30? Translate books. This is everyday schedule. So one day when he was translating at night, 1:30, there is a knock on the door. Tuck, 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 tuck. Srila Prabhupada comes out, he opens the door at 1:30 in the night, and what does he see? He sees a young girl. Pura drugs liya hua. Hippies, na, that time. She's outside the door of Prabhupada and she's staring she had big eyes, and she was staring at Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, what do you want? Who are you? So Srila Prabhupada realizes, pagal hai, high on drugs. He's about to close the door. She holds the door. So Srila Prabhupada thinks she wants to say something. Yes. What is it? She raises her hands. She doesn't chant Hare Krishna. She says, Hu la 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 la. Srila Prabhupada, what? So Srila Prabhupada realizes pagal hai. So then Srila Prabhupada closes the door. When he's closing the door, she suddenly comes inside. Now Srila Prabhupada's apartment like this. Now a sannyasi is not supposed to be alone with a woman in any room or house. So when she comes in, as etiquette होता है ना एक क्या बोलते हैं उसको एक reflex action. He comes out of the house because she has come inside, so he comes out of the house. So when he comes out of the house, she also comes outside. But when she comes outside, she pulls the door, and that was a self-locking door. And now both Prabhupada and this girl are locked outside the house at 1:30, 1:45 in the night, and it is January, cold in San Francisco. And Prabhupada looks at her and says, "You stupid girl, I am locked out of the house. Do you understand what you have done?" Ooh, la 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 la. That's the only thing she knows. Srila Prabhupada says, "Abhi kya kare?" So Abhi Prabhupada is going aage, and she is walking behind Prabhupada. And whenever Prabhupada looks at her, ooh la 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 la. That's all. So then Srila Prabhupada says, "Abhi kya karne ka? Kya karne ka?" So then Srila Prabhupada says, Mukunda has an extra key. But where does Mukunda stay? Mukunda is, what is his legal name? मैं बोल रहा हूँ. Michael Grant. उसका घर इधर ही कहीं है. वो जानकी के साथ रहता. जानकी and Mukunda. But वो अभी रात को किसके घर भेजा कि आप मुकुंदा का घर देखेंगे? तो हम Prabhupada calculates. इधर उधर जाते हैं. And she is walking behind. And finally, Prabhupada finds Mukunda's house. He knocks on the door. Mukunda opens the door, and he's shocked to see Prabhupada and one girl behind him, very scantily dressed, and cool la la la. She's just so Mukunda looks at her and says, "Prabhupada, who is she?" Then Prabhupada tells the whole story, and he looks at her and says, "You stupid girl! This is an elderly Swami. This is the only time he writes his books, and why do you disturb him at this hour?" And what do you think the girl says? No, she doesn't say that. The only time she says something coherent, when Mukunda chastises her, she doesn't say "Hoo la la la." She just smiles at Mukunda and says, "You are a kid, you won't understand." So Mukunda says, "What?" So then Prabhupada says, No, Mukunda, you won't understand. She's right. She's crazy. Just forget her. You give me the key. So then Mukunda gets the key. He comes with Srila Prabhupada, opens the door. Prabhupada is about to go in. He looks back, and this girl looks at Prabhupada and says, "Hoo la la la" again. Srila Prabhupada says, "Hare Krishna," and he goes inside. Mukunda then has to deal with this girl. He drives her away. Then Prabhupada is back in his room. Now this whole thing has taken almost 1.5 hours. So around 3 o'clock in the night, early morning, 3:15 in the morning. If this incident were to happen with any of us, what we would do? We would go crazy. We would be like sitting in the chair. क्या हो गया? ऐसा बैठ जाते हैं ना हम लोग. कभी-कभी after a hectic preaching tour, sometimes I just go to my room, I sit on the chair and like I'm sitting like this, as if I've been knocked out. So Prabhupada ऐसा नहीं. You know what Prabhupada did at 3:15? He comes back to his room, sits on his desk, and starts translating as if nothing had happened. Completely unaffected by what had happened. And he continues to translate for another 4 hours. At 7:30, he would come down to a temple hall to give morning class. So he comes, he sits in the class, and he starts. We are going to start this from next week in our Monday class also. He starts with Radha Madhav Bhajan. We are going to start that from next week. And Hare Krishna chanting. So Prabhupada does Radha Madhava, that bhajan. And Om Ajnana Timirandasya. Now the class is going to start. Srila Prabhupada opens his eyes, looks at all the boys and girls seated, and he sees that girl is also there in the audience. If I was there, I would panic. Arey bhagao usko. Right? That's what, I mean, you would think like that. You would think, bhagao aise pagal. You know what? Srila Prabhupada looks at her. She's there, and Prabhupada looks at her, and you know what he does? He smiles and says, "Hoo la 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 la." Srila Prabhupada says that. Matlab hans ke. Matlab Srila Prabhupada had this what we call sense of humor, and he was not. He didn't go. He had what do you call that? He had this. एक preaching spirit था. बच्ची है, पागल है. उसको help करो. So he could make a joke out of that. Somebody coming at night like this. There are many stories like this. Prabhupada used to conduct marriage ceremony of his disciples. Sannyasi is not supposed to do that. So hippies जो मतलब young लड़के साथ में रहते थे. Prabhupada used to say, you should get married to each other. This is not correct. You are staying together like this. So then they would say, okay, Prabhupada, it's a good idea. We'll get married. But then Prabhupada would conduct the yajna ceremony. तो शादी कराते थे ना तो ऐसा हिप्पी लोग भी आके बैठते थे. So one lady, in one fire yajna, this is the last past time I'll say. Prabhupada is doing yajna for, he is a 75-year-old man sitting and doing yajna for one couple who are sitting in front of him. And that lady who is getting married to the man, she already has a baby in her hand. And वो उनका कल्चर उस समय का. और बाकी लोग बैठे इधर उधर. तो उसमें एक लड़की, हिप्पी लड़की, वो ऐसा बैठी है सामने. And she is staring at Prabhupada. Prabhupada looks at her. And then she tells Prabhupada, I want to marry you. Crazy, na? So Prabhupada, you know what? Prabhupada is not like, Prabhupada, I am a sannyasi. I am not supposed to marry. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada उसको ऐसा उड़ा देते. Then after some time again, I want to marry you. I am a sannyasi. And then he can't. ऐसे कोई बच्चा जो मतलब पागल लोग रहते हैं ना, पागल, he was handling पागल people. प्रसाद खिलाओ इसको, हाँ प्रसाद खिला के उसको फिर भेज दो. Well, you can imagine the compassion, the love, next level. और वहां से ऐसे लोग devotee बने. Now you can't even imagine their past was like that. So next time I'll tell you more stories of Srila Prabhupada like this. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada shed a lot of blood, sweat, toil. I don't know what he wanted in exchange. Why he did all of this? He just wanted us to do two things. When devotees told him that you have given us, at the age of 70, he went to America. He had 2 heart attacks while going to America. He suffered so much. When devotees told him, you have done so much for us, what can we do to give back to you? What Guru Dakshina we can? You know what Srila Prabhupada said? Only 2 things. Just please accept what I have given you and give this Krishna consciousness to others. Understood? Accept the gift that I am giving you, and second, give it to others. So in your school, college, office, catch someone. I'll teach you techniques of how to preach, but tell people in a friendly way about Krishna. Get them to Krishna. Give them beads. Tell them about meditation. Show them some videos of Gaur Gopal Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu, like that. Slowly get them to temple. And I'm there for you. And you be there for them. You become gurus. You have 10, 15, 20 people whom you preach to. I will not give them time. You give them time, but I'll give you time. I'll be there for you for the rest of your life and my life. I'll be there for the rest of my life for you. But you give Krishna to others. Then you will be very happy, because there is no happiness in material world which is greater than the happiness of preaching. I'm telling you, preaching, when others become devotees, the happiness you experience is 1,000,000 times greater than the greatest happiness that you can experience in material world, whatever that is. उससे 100 गुना ज्यादा है preaching का सुख. And the proof is, there are some stories which I can never share here. People have given up certain things so that they can preach. And what temptations, I know some devotees, their stories are so dramatic, I can share that when the camera is not on. When I'm personally with you, one-to-one, I can share with you some stories of devotees. And when you hear that, they had this opportunity to enjoy and they had opportunity to preach. And यहाँ से कुछ नहीं मिलेगा preaching से, केवल वो व्यक्ति devotee बनेगा. यहाँ से बहुत कुछ मिलेगा. And they preferred this. मतलब there is something here. Giving Krishna gives you the joy which you cannot even imagine what it is. So I request you, give Krishna to others and become devotee yourself. Is that okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Bihari Bhagwan ki jai. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Gaur Nitai ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you for coming today.